6:03 on October 9th, 2025, and this is the time and place of the Ada County Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. We extend our welcome to those of us in the audience with us, and it sounds like we don't have anyone online today. We'll go ahead and begin with a roll call of commissioners. Commissioner Birch.
Present.
We'll excuse Commissioner Blitman, Commissioner Wickstrom, Commissioner Colson.
Here.
I'm on fire with these names. We'll excuse Commissioner Murphy, Commissioner Rowley.
Here.
And I am Commissioner Scott, and I'll be conducting this meeting this evening. Just in order for the commission to conduct a hearing in an orderly manner, we have some policies and procedures that are established for the running of the meeting. Anyone who wishes to testify, if you hadn't signed up online, that's fine. You can sign up in the back. If you didn't sign up in the back, you can just raise your hand and I'll call on you. The chairperson, which is me, will open up the public hearing for applications, and each applicant will be separately considered pursuant to a specific process. The planning staff will present the application in the form of staff report, which includes conditions of approval. Commissioners may ask questions of the staff to clarify their understanding of the application. The applicant will then be given 15 minutes to present their proposal and respond to questions from the commissioners. We'll then open it up for testimony with regard to the application from the general public. And then with that, if you come to the podium, just please state your name and address. And that's for everyone coming to the podium. It's for the record. You'll have, those of you who are providing comments will have 3 minutes. The staff will then provide clarification, and then the applicant will be given 10 minutes for rebuttal. We'll close the public testimony, and then the commission will deliberate and discuss. I just ask everyone, I know it's kind of a smaller crowd, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem, but just don't shout, don't clap, don't whistle, don't, just golden rule, don't be rude and things of that nature. We do this voluntarily. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start with our first project. This is project number 2025-01115-S-PR. This is Ackerman Estvold, and Ms. Haynes will provide us with the staff report.
Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2025-01115-S-PR is a preliminary plat and private road application to create the Floyd subdivision, a 3-lot subdivision. The property is located at 3920 East Columbia Road and contains 18.8 acres in the Rural Urban Transition District. The property is located south of Meridian city limits and east of Kuna city limits. The property is located within Meridian's area of city impact. Most of the surrounding property is low-density residential or agricultural uses, with some higher-density residential to the north and east. The applicant is requesting to subdivide the property into 3 lots, 2 of which will be 5 acres and 1 8 acres. In order to grant access and frontage to the 2 northern lots, a private road will be constructed. The application was transmitted to agencies concerned with the protection of the public health, safety, and welfare, as well as neighbors within 300 feet. All comments were incorporated into the conditions of approval. ACHD commented that with site-specific conditions that include right-of-way dedication along Columbia Road and turning the existing driveway into a temporary driveway with future redevelopment of Lot 1, including a new single-family dwelling, having access from the private road instead of the arterial road. They also approved the connection point of the private road onto Columbia with standard conditions of approval. Boise Project Board of Control commented that the property does possess a valid water right, but the private irrigation facility, known as the Watkins Drain, will need to remain unobstructed and protected, with no discharge into live irrigation ditches being permitted. Central District Health commented that a land development application, fee per lot, test holes, and full engineering report is required. The Ada County engineer commented that as groundwater monitoring data 2 miles from the site indicate groundwater levels are dropping by 12 inches per year at the monitoring well location, the applicant is required to submit a water adequacy supply study prepared by an Idaho licensed engineer for the county to review to ensure that adequate water is available to the site for private well usage. Our engineer also required the private road to be constructed and inspected to county standards. The City of Meridian commented that while dry lines will not be required for this development, the city engineer is requesting that a sewer easement along the private road be included to accommodate the alignment of the master planned sewer line that will eventually serve these parcels and properties to the east. All other comments from agencies did not have concerns, and no comments from neighbors have been received at this time. Staff finds that this application complies with the Ada County Code and recommends approval to the Commission. The Commission should take into consideration all testimony presented at this hearing before making a recommendation to the Board. This presentation will be known as Exhibit Number 33, and I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Haynes. Do the commissioners have any questions for staff? All right, seeing none. We'll go ahead and invite the applicant to come forward. Please state your name and address and offer your presentation. You'll have 15 minutes.
Good evening, Antonio Conti, Ackerman Estevold, 7661 West Riverside Drive in Garden City. Ms. Haynes, thank you very much for the work on this project. Like she said, it's a 3-lot subdivision, just keep it rural, big acreage lot. We reviewed all the conditions of approval. We have no concerns with the conditions. We're good to accept, and we're just here to answer questions. The owner of the property is here as well, in case you have further questions for him.
Okay. Are there any questions for the applicant? I just do have the one question. Did you
Yes.
hold a neighborhood meeting, and how did that go?
Nobody showed up, as usual.
Okay.
There was one neighbor who had some questions. We thought was going to come in tonight, but he didn't. So that's as far as it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. No other questions? All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I'll go ahead and turn it back over to staff. Any questions from commissioners for staff? Oh, I guess I forgot. My bad. I'm sorry. I forgot. Is there anyone else in the audience that wants to speak on this? I had no one on my sheet, so I just assumed. Okay. Anyways, now we'll go ahead and turn it over to staff. No questions? All right. Sir, did you want to come back up and add anything? All right. We'll go ahead and close the public testimony for this project, and I will look to one of my fellow commissioners for a motion in favor or against the applicant. Commissioner Birch?
Based upon the findings of fact and conclusions of law contained in the staff report, this commission recommends approval of project number 202-5011-5-S-PR, subject to the conditions of approval attached as Exhibit A in the preliminary plat stamped July 25th, 2025.
Commissioner Birch, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Colson has seconded. Commissioner Birch, do you want to speak on your motion?
Sure. Complete no-brainer here. Public did not object. Applicant's willing to comply with all conditions. Staff has recommended it meets the requirements under the code. No reason not to approve this.
Thank you. Commissioner Colson, do you have anything?
I agree.
Okay. Anyone else have any? All right, sounds good. With that being said, all those in favor of Commissioner Birch's motion, say aye.
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 And I also say aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, the motion passes. Thank you so much for your application. Next up, we have application 2025-01074-S-PR. This one is also Ackerman Estvald. And we look to Mr. Mr. Danielson for the staff report.
Dear Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2025-01074-S-PR is a preliminary plat and private road application for a 2-lot subdivision. The property is located west of Meridian on the south side of Victory Road, in between South McDermott Road and South Black Cat Road, and is approximately half a mile east of the Ada-Canyon County line. The property is located at 5535 West Victory Road. It contains 10 acres in the Rural Urban Transition District. The lots will take access from a private road, and the lots will be 5 acres in size. Lot 1 has an existing single-family residence, and then there's also a kind of power line, power transmission line and easement that goes through the property. You can kind of see it goes through here, kind of on the diagonal right there. The property is located in Meridian's area of city impact. Therefore, the Meridian Comprehensive Plan, as adopted by Ada County, is the applicable comprehensive plan. The future land use map designates the site as low-density residential, which is intended for single-family homes at densities of 3 dwelling units or less per acre. The proposed subdivision is compatible with the comprehensive plan. At this time, there were no written comments received on this application. Key agency comments include the following. The Boise Project Board of Control states that the Dexter lateral lies within the subdivision boundary, and they assert an easement of 27 feet east, northeast, and 27 feet southwest of the Dexter lateral center line, and the preliminary plat depicts this easement. The A County engineer mentioned that the project is not in a groundwater management area or a critical groundwater area or area of drilling concern. However, the property is in a nitrate priority area. The Central District Health Department will require a land development application, test holes, and a full engineering report. The A County Highway District stated that the development is estimated to generate 9 vehicle trips per day with 1 vehicle trip per hour in the PM peak hour, based on the Institute of Transportation Engineers Trip Generation Manual 11th edition. Also, the area roadways meet ACHD's level of service planning thresholds. The applicant will be required to dedicate right-of-way from the center line of Victory Road, and they'll also need to reserve an area east of the site's west property line, extending north and south, abutting the entire site for the Master Street Maps planned residential collector, and ensure that no permanent structures are constructed in that area. And then there's a condition of approval for this non-build area to be depicted on the final plat. Staff finds that the application complies with a county code and the comprehensive plan and recommends approval to the commission, and I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Danielson. Do we have any questions from the commissioners? Seeing none, thank you. We'll go ahead and ask the applicant to come forward. And again, please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 15 minutes for your presentation.
Good evening, Antonio Conti, Akron Westwood, 7661 West Riverside Drive. We went through, all the application, but we never received anything formal from the City of Meridian. We're still in negotiation with them. So there's 2 conditions that I would like to make a slight modification to, if approved by the board. 2C and 19. 2C requires an easement for water and sewer to the City of Meridian. And 19 requires installation of dry lines, dry water, dry sewer line. What we're asking, if it pleases the board, is to add a note, if required by the City of Meridian, on both. They never responded. There is nothing on the application from them, so I would like some flexibility. We're still negotiating with them, if that would be acceptable.
Do any commissioners have any questions? Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner Rowley.
Yeah, question for staff. In that instance that he's describing, is there any precedent for what he's describing? And he's in an area of impact, but he's saying only if the city requires it.
There is, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Rowley, there is. So we could definitely add to the condition 2C and then the other condition if required by the City of Meridian. The reason why we have those conditions there is because this property is in Meridian's area of impact, there's a kind of unique, with our area of impact agreement with the City of Meridian, there's a unique provision in the area of impact agreement when you have a subdivision, unless waived by the City of Meridian, at final plat stage, they have to put like a stream utility easement plan is one provision that they have to do based on the area of impact agreement. And then the other provision is having the dry line sewer line. And so if we do get something from the City of Meridian saying that they don't need that, then that would not be required. But with the applicant's request to add, unless required by the City of Meridian, I think that would be an appropriate addition to those conditions.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead and open it up to the public. Anyone? I don't have anyone who signed up, so does anyone in the audience want to testify with regard to this project? All right, seeing no one, go ahead and turn it back over to staff for any questions from the commissioners. Any additional questions?
Mr. Chairman, just before I forget, my presentation will be exhibit number 32.
Okay, sounds good. No questions for staff. Sir, do you want to come back up for additional comment? You'll have 5 minutes.
Just want to say thank you. Thank you, Brian, for considering this option.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. We'll go ahead and close the public testimony portion. And I look to a motion from one of my fellow commissioners in for or against or with an amendment to at the request of the applicant. Commissioner Rowley?
Yeah, Chairman, I would move to recommend approval of project 2025-01074-S-PR based on the findings of fact and conclusions of law in the staff report and the lack of opposition testimony from tonight's hearing, subject to conditions in future Exhibit A.
All right, did you want to include what they were saying, what the applicant said as well, or just leave it as is?
I'm fine with it as is. It sounds like staff is going to make that revision, so.
Okay, I guess clarification, is that what you guys would be doing? Or do we need to make a motion on
Mr. Chairman, it'd
that?
be preferable if you include that in your motion.
Okay, I just want to make sure, okay.
Okay, so subject to clarifications, the staff will make to Exhibit 32, I believe you referenced.
I think it's 2C and 19.
Yeah, condition number 2C and condition number 19.
Okay.
All right, so just for clarity's purposes for the record, I guess it's an amendment to allow that the city of Meridian, if needed, is that correct? Is that?
If required
If
by
required,
city
yeah.
of Meridian. Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to be kind of clear for the record. All right. All right, we have a motion from Commissioner Rowley. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Colson has seconded. Commissioner Rowley, do you want to speak on your motion?
Yeah, similar to the first project we looked at tonight, this one, as Jim said, is kind of a no-brainer. Seems very straightforward. I don't have any issue with the amended language that the applicant requested, if in fact there's precedent there, and it'll be modified, so.
Thank you, Commissioner Rowley. Commissioner Colson?
I agree. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Commissioner Birch, do you have anything?
No.
All right, sounds good. I don't have anything to add. With that being said, all those in favor of Commissioner Rowley's motion, say aye.
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 I also say aye. All those opposed say no. Seeing none, the motion carries. Thank you again, everyone involved. Thank you. Next up, we have item number 2025-01512-S and 2006-00071-DA-DM. This is Rocky Mountain Companies, and we look to Mr. Holton for the staff report. Thank you.
Planning and Zoning Commission, project number 2025-015-12-S and 2006-00071-DA-DM is an application for a preliminary plat for the proposed 12-lot Hazelton commercial subdivision and a modified development agreement. The property is generally located at 6381 South 5 Mile Road and contains approximately 11.4 acres within the Community Commercial District and the Medium High Density Residential District. It is within Boise's area of impact. The modified development agreement will address signage for future development and prohibit multifamily dwellings on the site. The proposed Hazelton commercial subdivision will connect to Veolia Water and Boise Public Works Services. The future land use for this property is mixed use, making this proposal in compliance with Boise's comprehensive plan. Neighboring properties are within the Neighborhood Commercial District, the Community Commercial District, the Medium High Density Residential District, and the Low Density Residential District. This slide shows further context of the proposed Hazelton commercial subdivision with residential and commercial uses abutting the property. This slide shows the further context of the proposed Hazelton, and it shows the preliminary plat, which features 12 buildable commercial lots, easements, a service drive, and a pedestrian pathway adjacent to the Cunningham Lateral. Access to lots 1 through 8 will come from the proposed service drive, and access to lots 9 through 12 will come from West Lockwood Street. If approved, each individual lot will require master site plan approval. Some of the agency comments received were: the Ada County building official has no objection to this proposal. A building permit for all new structures will be required. The Ada County engineer has no objection to this proposal. A drainage application must be approved prior to any construction. The Ada County Highway District will require site-specific conditions of approval, such as dedicated right-of-way to total 57 feet from the center line from South 5 Mile Road, construct a southbound right turn lane on 5 Mile Road and the Lockwood Street intersection, construct any additional driveways from this site onto Lockwood Street in alignment with Plumdale Way. Direct lot access is prohibited to 5 Mile Road and should be noted on the final plat. The Boise Fire Department will require that fire hydrants be located no more than 600 feet from structures and monument signage for addresses, which will be required at the entrance and all intersections within the project. A neighbor provided comments in support of the proposed Hazelton commercial subdivision, and they mentioned that the neighborhood meeting, the applicant was courteous, well-informed, well-prepared, and answered all of their questions. Lake comments were also provided, which have been included in the memo. Both comments suggested that light pollution should be considered for future signage within the subdivision. Key conditions of approval are that Central District Health must approve the infiltration beds for stormwater water disposal. The Ada County engineer must approve a surface drainage runoff plan. The applicant or owner must comply with the site-specific Ada County Highway District conditions of approval. The handout that I gave you is revised ACHD comments to reflect the changes to their site-specific conditions of approval for number 7. Other than the access specifically approved for this application, direct lot access is prohibited on 5 Mile Road and should be noted on the final plat. Any deviation from this plan is subject to Boise Fire Department approval, and any lighting on the site shall comply with Ada County lighting regulations. Staff finds that this application complies with Ada County Code and recommends approval with the following revision to the conditions of approval to the Commission. Condition of approval number 9, comply with site-specific conditions of approval requirements from the Ada County Highway District received October 7, 2025, Exhibit 36. This presentation will be an exhibit to the record, and I will stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Holtum. Any questions from staff, Commissioner Rowley? Or
Yeah.
excuse me, from Commissioner?
Two quick questions. This ACHD document, is this an addendum to what ACHD had previously reviewed?
It's a revised report. There was a typo on one of the conditions of approval that I included in the findings of fact.
Okay. And then one other simple question. There was something in someone's requirements about any future driveways or roadways being parallel with Plumdale Lane, or
Yes.
where is Plumdale Lane in this?
So Plumdale is right here, a little bit to the west of the service drive.
So they're saying any future offshoots to the north need to be in line with that?
Correct, yes.
Got you. All right, thank you.
Any additional questions, Commissioner Birch?
Mr. Holtum, you mentioned that there were 2 additional comments included in the memo, and I only saw one that was from a husband and wife.
Romeo, yes. And then
Yes.
there was also another comment from Carlos Vidales that should be included as well on page, I believe, 3.
Wait, not in what I have.
He's also here.
Okay,
So,
all right,
Yeah,
good.
he's on the
Okay,
list of people, so.
got it. Thank you, Mr. Holtum, appreciate it.
Any additional questions for staff? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and invite the applicant forward. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 15 minutes for your presentation.
Doug, is there a clicker?
All right. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ben Millick. I'm an owner's representative for Rocky Mountain Companies. We're located at 350 North 9th Street in downtown Boise. Appreciate the opportunity to present the prelim plat and development agreement modification applications today. Briefly, to touch on us as a company, our firm's been developing retail commercial throughout Ada County and Treasure Valley for 35 years. We're a local company, small office with 14 amazing people, creating several departments, allowing us to be a full-service development firm. So diving into the applications in front of you, I want to get straight to the point with the elephant in the room. The number one question that everybody asks us is what's going to go in our subdivision? And the simple answer is we don't quite know yet. It's a little too early in the process to understand any users. We don't have anybody signed on or any leases or anything at this point. So the best way to present to you and the public of what we envision going here is to show you what we've done in our past. So I'll scroll through several slides pretty quickly here, just showing you what we do at Rocky Mountain Companies. We've built 22 primary healths. We've done a dental office in Ontario and a recent dental office in Kuna. We've been involved with St. Al's and St. Luke's Family Health Centers. We've built all the Bluebird car washes and several Metro Express car washes. We've done a handful of quick serve restaurants, including Del Taco and Starbucks. We've been involved in a lot of the Napa Auto Parts around town with a franchisee. We've done several credit unions and a bank in McCall, and other banks and some of the subdivisions I'll get to soon. Some of our fun projects that we've done are adaptive reuse projects in downtown. The building across the street from this courthouse is CSHQA building. Turned it into a warehouse, or from a warehouse to a nice high-end office. Same with the Biomark building in downtown. And we were also involved in the tap room at Payette. And then one of our most fun projects is our acquisition and redevelopment of the 805 building, which is where Fork and Alavita are. So hopefully that gives you a good picture of a lot of the variety of commercial and retail and restaurants that we are a part of. Now I want to get into some examples of land development that we've done, which is most critical because this is what I'm presenting for today. So these are examples of similar projects that we've done. Eagle and Pine and Meridian. You can see there's 3 sit-down restaurants, a mortgage office, a bank, car wash. We did Chinnan and Linder and Meridian, multi-tenant building, Del Taco, car wash, bank, oil primary health, college marketplace in Caldwell, 22 acres that we sold off the back to an apartment developer, sold the middle to Grace Senior Housing, and then developed the frontage lots into our commercial and retail. We did Fairview and Cole and Boise. Again, some of the users, health, car wash, oil changers, a residential developer to build townhomes in the back. More recently, this is one of our recent projects. We installed infrastructure over 7 acres in Nampa, created 7 lots, and they're slowly infilling one by one as we speak. And then same in Emmett, we bought 11 acres of highway frontage that we've split into several parcels, infilling them one by one over the next several years. So talking about this project specifically, hopefully that gives you a good idea of some projects we've done in the past and gives the public an idea of what users could go here. This project's 11 acres. Doug did a great job of presenting our intent and all the details. As you can see, it's surrounded by established residential neighborhoods, and we've consistently heard that this area needs convenient access to daily goods and more retail and more commercial. Prior to this hearing, we met 2 times with the neighbors. One time, when we were first looking at buying the property, we did a courtesy meeting with the Hazelwood Village HOA board members just to introduce ourselves and gauge their interest and see if we want to pursue the property. We had good feedback, so we pursued the property. And our second meeting with the neighbors was the official neighborhood meeting, which was like the day before we closed on the property. During both meetings with the neighbors, the conversations were very active and productive, and we really appreciate the level of cooperation that the neighbors have had and support that they've had for this project. Many residents have expressed their appreciation during those meetings that we're bringing commercial to the area versus more residential. Getting into some specifics within our plan here. I want to briefly touch on signage. One of the items in the development agreement modification is a request for more signage. And the reasoning behind that is our property is very deep east to west. We have pretty minimal 5-mile frontage, which is our critical commercial retail frontage. That's our arterial road with all the traffic. So we kind of classify it internally as 3 tiers of pads. We have our frontage lots, which are like our tier 1 lots. These are valuable, high traffic, high visibility. These will be no problem leasing them up or building on them. Then we have tier 2 behind our private road. We don't think these will be a problem to build either, but they're going to be a little bit less desirable, a little bit less traffic and visibility. And then we have tier 3, which has kind of been our challenge from the start with this project, is what is the back going to look like with retail and commercial, because they don't really have much visibility. They don't get much traffic on Lockwood. So our solution to try and attract users is to request through the development agreement modification to build 2 shopping center signs. And originally, the plan shown on the screen was to build one on 5 Mile and one on Lockwood. But after hearing a concern from the neighbor, which I totally understand, is regarding the Lockwood sign, the center sign on Lockwood. If I was across the street and I was sitting on my back patio, I wouldn't want to look at that larger shopping center sign either. So we have a proposed solution to that comment that I think works for them and us, is we would do this instead, and we'd like to request this change. We would move that Lockwood center sign to 5 Mile. So instead of having one on 5 Mile, one on Lockwood, we would have both of them on 5 Mile and separate them as far apart as possible. So one's in the northeast corner, one's in the southeast corner. So we would have we would still get our 2 shopping center signs that we want, and the neighbors wouldn't have, it would be farther away from the neighbors in their view of their backyards. So that's the request for the signage. In addition to this, there was a concern for lighting. This is very common in projects like this where we build next to residential. I think Doug did a good job. All signage will be held to the county standard. The initial construction that we do will not include any lighting, but as lots develop one by one, they'll have site lighting and building lighting as part of their master site plan. And they have to have a lighting plan in their master site plan application that gets reviewed and approved by staff. And it shows all the lighting levels, shielding strategies, and photometric plan. So one by one, on a case-by-case basis, the lighting will get reviewed and approved by staff. And then lastly, I just want to touch briefly on schedule to set expectations for this project. Right now, we're in our prelim plat development agreement modification. We hope to start construction after the new year, which will build and complete our access road and utilities by the summer of '26. Then we can pursue our final plat, hopefully having that final plat recorded by the end of 2026. And at that time, users can start applying for their individual lots for master site plan permits and construction. And their processes will probably take a full year. So at the earliest, any users being open for business on this property are probably looking at the end of 2027 for the first user. And to fill all 11 acres, it's going to be most likely a 5 to 10 year process before this is fully built out. So in closing, our goal with this project was to create new commercial development that fills the clear need in the community. We want to support the nearby residents, and we also want to align with the Ada County land use plan for this area. So appreciate your time. We're open for any questions.
Thank you. Do the commissioners have any questions? Commissioner Birch?
Hey, thank you. I had reviewed the staff report before actually seeing the letter that and I'll butcher their name, Romeo or Romeo, whichever it is, that they wrote. And I had very much the same concerns that they did. And so I want to explore some of those issues. And I don't think it is just them. It is anybody whose residential property is in real close proximity to this. And so I appreciate that the individual uses would end up coming for approval, but there could be blanket limitations as well. And so I did have a concern with what the lighting would be. You've already expressed that, but there's ways to do the lighting where it's all focused downward and whatnot. I also had concern about noise. Specifically, you could put restaurants with outdoor seating in those parcels that are close to where the residential where the homes are. And they could be playing music outdoors that could be disturbing to the neighbors. And so if I were a neighbor, I would say, I want anything like, first of all, I would say no outdoor music and try to eliminate that. And this is going to be a great development because everything's going on down here. You're going to have the other application here, the one right after this next one coming up. And then in addition to not having public outdoor uses close to where they would be and eliminating sound that would carry across into the neighborhoods after a certain time in the evening. The other concern I've got is how tall the buildings could be there, because if you're a resident, you don't want a 2 or 3 story building where those people are out looking down into your backyard. Are there limitations proposed? Would these all be single story? Would they be limited to a certain height? I know you've considered various things, including offices, which might be appropriate, crammed back in the back where people can't see them, but where you could have dental, medical, therapy, any number of things. So help me out. Again, I don't want to be, if I'm a resident, I don't want to have somebody looking down in my backyard.
Totally understand. Without having any knowledge of the users that want to go here, it's hard for us as a developer to restrict ourselves to anything. We've heard that these residents really want sit-down restaurants, and what if the restaurant wants to be on one of those parcels right next to Lockwood? We don't want to put ourselves in a corner where we can't offer that service to them because those frontage lots next to Lockwood are restricted for whatever reason for outdoor seating or noise or music. Regarding the height, we personally haven't envisioned any multi-story buildings, but if there is like a larger user that wants to go in the back half, they might want to be a little taller just for visibility to 5 Mile. They could still be single level, but they might have a parapet that's raised higher. But we personally haven't pictured this as any sort of high-density, multi-level properties. And a lot of the examples that I showed of what we've built in the past for subdivisions and land development, we've never really built multi-level commercial retail, and we don't expect that out here in South Boise.
I know some of those single-level buildings are tall, and so if you had, like, for example, a Napa Auto Parts that had a large frontage in the building, that is, or a large fascia, that you would not want lighting that would be on the back side. You could have it on the front side, so people driving down 5 Mile go, oh yeah, I see the Napa. And your signage compromise looks good to me too. I did have the same concern that the neighbor did. So in any event, more to come, I suppose. Thank you. Yeah.
Just a question for staff. During the master site plan process, they go in depth with the lighting design and the layout and where like a patio would be,
And landscaping as
the
well.
sound and everything.
Yes.
Okay. So each site does have the opportunity for staff to really go in depth and design each site to make sure it's appropriate
We have to
for.
approve those sites. I mean, the individual buildings,
Yeah, right now, but I believe with the new zoning ordinance amendment, they'd be administrative applications.
okay, I got you. Any additional questions? Commissioner Rowley?
Mr. Chairman, question on the road that runs north-south through the development, separating lots 1 through 4 from the balance. As that goes to the north, it appears to dump out into another existing development. Is that going to be, will someone be able to drive through that? In other words, could they come off Lake Hazel and shortcut the whole intersection and be driving through that other property to get to yours?
It's an interesting question, yes. Our intent is to have cross-access with the neighbor to the north, that center. It's not final yet. We're currently negotiating with that neighbor. We can't force him to allow the cross-access, but we'd be happy to grant him cross-access over our whole parcel. But we're very hopeful that we're going to figure it out. We just sent him something today on it. So for now, it's not fully final, until we get that agreement in place with him. But our intention is that we do have cross-access with him. And I think the neighbors would love the idea, if I recall in our meeting, of being able to drive through our property and his property to get to Lake Hazel versus getting stuck at Lockwood and 5 Mile. So that, from what we've heard, the neighbors really want the cross-connectivity through both centers.
Would it just be at that new roadway that you're constructing, or is the whole thing parking lots open to each other?
For now, the plan just shows that one, but we are, as we're negotiating with the property owner to the north, we're trying to figure out multiple points of cross-access, so it's not just the one. But again, nothing's final until we come to an agreement with him.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Turning it over to the public, I do have a Carlos Vidales on here. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 3 minutes for your testimony, sir.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. My name is Carlos Vidales. I live at 10963 West Oleana Drive, and I came to express my approval of this project. We understand that we are getting a box of chocolates. We don't know exactly what we are going to be getting in their businesses, but this is what we have always wanted there. You know, we want the businesses things there. Things are going to change for us. We're going to see more traffic. We're going to hear a little bit more noise. There's going to be more light. But the alternative would have been residences that thankfully you did not approve that they were built there. And you know, that's still the reason why I want to be here today, to thank this commission for having denied the previous applicant's request to build homes in the place. Businesses is what we want. And you know, I certainly speak for myself, but I sense that most of the neighbors that they have been well informed too of this is going on. They are not concerned about the businesses being built in there. We will have to see what happens with time, but the Rocky Mountains company has been extremely helpful, has been extremely cooperative, has been very polite, and they have let us know everything that's going on. So at least I feel very comfortable with them, and I trust that they're going to do a good development for us. So that's all. Thank you very much. If you have any questions for me, I can stick around. Otherwise, I'll get out of the way.
Thank you. Any questions from the commission? Thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else in the audience that would like to speak to this? All right, seeing nobody, we'll go ahead and turn it back over to staff for questions from the commissioners. Do any commissioners have any questions for staff? All right, seeing none there. Does the applicant want to come back forward to speak on a potential rebuttal or anything? All right, they're stating no. We'll go ahead and close the public testimony, and I'll open it up to one of my fellow commissioners for a motion in favor or against, and we'll discuss.
Based upon, Commissioner, based upon the findings of fact and conclusions of law and testimony from the public hearing, the commission approves project 2025-01512-S and 2006-0071-DA-DM, subject to the conditions of approval attached as Exhibit A and preliminary plot dated July 16, 2025.
Thank you, Commissioner Colson. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Birch has seconded. Commissioner Colson, you want to speak to your motion?
Yeah, I was here at that, I was on the board at that hearing that we denied the residential, and it was pretty well known of Hazelwood Village that they wanted commercial. I mean, I was one that actually, you know, thought the other project was a good idea as well, but this is what they've always wanted in that subdivision and that surrounding areas. So I think it's a home run for exactly what Hazelwood subdivision wants. And so that's why I would vote for approval.
And thank you, Commissioner Colson. Commissioner Birch?
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Colson. I'm excited to see a development like this go in down there. This will make it a development that will attract that whole neighborhood, and I think it's a wonderful thing. I do hope that when the individual projects come up, that the people who live close to it very clearly express their opinion about the lighting, the music, noise, the height of the buildings, all of that, because I think that those homeowners deserve to be protected while still allowing flexibility for the developer.
Thank you. Commissioner Rowley, do you have anything you want to add? No, nothing further. I just wanted to add, I was also at the meeting where they denied it. This is my stomping grounds. This is actually where I live. I'm down further towards Charter Point, but I feel like if I denied this, I would be strung up in my neighborhood. This is one of those things where, man, they need this bad. So I'm very happy that it seems like, I think this is definitely the second, maybe the third time we've had someone try to do something with this, and now it's finally fitting with the neighborhoods, or the surrounding neighborhoods' intent. And honestly, it looks like it's going to drive some additional change, and that's necessary. And I think it was just kind of a domino effect where for decades it was just Albertsons and some things, and then that McDonald's took a shot, and then it turned into a tire center, the bank, and then now we have that Dutch Brothers just opened. So it's starting to roll, and I think that's kind of where this corner is going to blow up, especially with Locale getting really big down off of whatever that is, Cole, I think. But anyways, I wholeheartedly support this. This area really needs it. So I'm very happy to see that for once we see massive amounts of approval between neighbors and commercial and everything like that. It's very heartening. So with that being said, is there any other comments?
I just got one more.
Yeah, Commissioner Coles.
Yeah, and with that collective commuter road that you guys are looking at putting in there, I highly think that's a great idea. And my reasons on that is Hazelwood Village, I mean, I've done a lot of work in that subdivision, and those, if I'm gonna have a kid or whatever that loves to go to the gas station or something, like when I was a kid, it keeps them off a 5 Mile Road. They're gonna go that way, they're gonna walk that way. It's gonna be a lot safer for those kids. So for just that reason, that's one of the main reasons why I'd want that commuter road in there.
Yeah, and people drive that behind that, because the liquor store's right there. They drive around to get up there anyways. So I know that's private property, but hopefully it works out. But yeah. All right, with that being said, all those in favor of this project say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Seeing none, the project is approved. Thank you, everyone involved, for your comments and testimony. We'll go ahead and move to the next project. This is project number 2025-01403-ZC-S-DA-PR-V. This is David Evans and Associates, and we look to Mr. Holtum again for the staff report.
All righty. Planning and Zoning Commission, project number 2025-01403-ZC-DA-S-PR-V is an application for a zone change from the Rural Preservation District to Rural Residential, a development agreement, a preliminary plat for 4 buildable residential lots within the proposed Fiddle Neck Ridge subdivision, a private road, and a variance. The property is generally located at 15350 North Broken Horn Road and contains approximately 40.8 acres within the Rural Preservation District. It is within unincorporated Ada County and it is not within any city's area of impact. The proposed Fiddle Neck Ridge subdivision is in compliance with the Ada County Comprehensive Plan. This slide shows the preliminary plat for the proposed Fiddle Neck Ridge subdivision. Lot 1 will take access from North Broken Horn Road, and lots 2, 3, and 4 will take access from the proposed private road, Thunder Ridge Lane. Veolia Water is proposed to serve the subdivision. The applicant has requested a variance for Thunder Ridge Lane, the proposed private road to intersect with North Broken Horn Road, an existing private road. This slide shows the steep slopes that are on the property. And the property is also within the Wildland Urban Fire Interface Overlay District. This slide shows the existing Fiddle Neck Ridge Trail. And some of the agency comments for the proposal are, the Ada County building official has no objections to this proposal. A building permit will be required for all new structures. The Fiddle Neck Ridge subdivision is within the Wildland Urban Fire Interface Overlay District and has a fire protection program that shall be followed. The Ada County engineer commented that a plat note should be added stating that the domestic water system will be provided by Veolia or individual wells. A plat note should be added stating that the lots will be serviced by individual septic systems. Revise Thunder Ridge Lane and North Broken Horn Road sections to show pavement sections for any slope greater than 5% in the direction of travel. Revise the road width from 24 feet to 32 feet. And obtain a drainage application prior to any construction. The Ada County Highway District commented that the proposed preliminary plat should be approved without any conditions from them. The Eagle Fire Department commented that fire sprinklers shall be required in all the homes within the subdivision as stated within the wildfire mitigation plan. Fire apparatus access roads and driveways shall not exceed 10% grade. The Ada County Parks and Waterways Department commented that there is an existing publicly accessible single-track trail, Fiddleneck Ridge Trail, traverses the parcel. Central District Health commented that infiltration beds for stormwater disposal are considered shallow injection wells, and an application and fee per well vicinity map and construction plans must be submitted. The key conditions of approval are Central District Health must approve the infiltration beds for stormwater disposal and all septic systems within the subdivision. The owner and her applicant shall submit a land development application, test holes, and a full engineering report to Central District Health. The central water plans must be submitted and approved by the Idaho Department of Environmental Quality. The final plat shall include the following plat note. Fire sprinklers shall be required in all the homes of this subdivision as stated within the wildfire mitigation plan. The applicant and/or lot owners shall comply with the Fiddleneck Ridge subdivision wildfire safety plan. The Fiddleneck Ridge Trail easement shall be depicted on the final plat. No segment of the travelway shall exceed 10% grade. The owner and or applicant shall apply for a hillside development application prior to any construction. Eagle Fire Department is requiring that no parking fire lane signs shall be posted on one side of the fire apparatus road. Show the Fiddleneck Ridge Trail easement. If an alternative trail is proposed, show the alternative route on the plat. And lastly, revise the plat to include a 32-foot wide private road as required by the Eagle Fire Department. Staff finds that this application complies with Ada County Code and recommends approval to the commission. This presentation will be an exhibit to the record, and I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Holton. Does commission have any questions for staff? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead. Gentlemen, we'll go ahead and invite the applicant forward. Please state your name and address for the record, and you'll have 15 minutes for your presentation. Oh, yeah. No, there you go.
Hello, my name is Devin McDonald, and I'm the applicant for this project. I know the project stated for 4 buildable lots. I actually already live here, so that would be the lot number 2. And so I'm actually just trying for 3 other buildable lots. But
Can you state your address real quick
oh,
before,
sorry,
before I forget?
15350 North Broken Horn,
Perfect. Thank you.
Boise, Idaho. And I don't. All I'm trying to do is build a house. I live in a shop there, on living quarters in the shop. I've been through the process to get that built 2 years ago. And then when I tried to build a house, I had too much living quarters in that shop. So I had to now subdivide and rezone to meet that standard. The properties to the south of me are already at that other zoning, and so it's going in accordance with that. I'm not trying to do anything outside of the box. And we've had a few back and forths with road width requirements and stuff like that. I was trying to go on the requirement of Ada County Code, but last minute, I think the new fire marshal said he wanted 32-foot wide, and I mean, I'll do what I have to do, but we only have 3 existing dwellings that will be possible on that private road. It's not a 4 or more or any of that, and I am planning on pushing this through so that I can build my own home. Do you have any questions for me?
Are there any questions from the commissioners? I just have the one question. So you're fine with all of the conditions of approval then and everything like that?
Well, for the most part, yeah. There was 2 of them that popped up now I hadn't even heard yet, which was probably just because I've been through a lot of the paperwork, and so I just maybe skimmed it. But yeah, with that, I've been working with Veolia for the water. We have on the the main road that goes through the property has natural gas, city water, and fiber optic internet, stuff like that. So we're not proposing, it says or wells, if that's easier on the higher lot, like that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because, yeah, those conditions can derail very quickly if you don't follow them. So as long as you're fine with those, it's fine. I just want to make sure, kind of express that because we've had people kind of skip some of those and then it comes back. So I just want to make sure you're aware of that and whatnot and give you the chance to understand, so.
Okay.
Any other questions? Commissioner Birch?
Yeah, you had mentioned the width of that private road, or are you okay with the 32-foot?
Well, I guess I'm going to have to, is that a 32-foot wide? I mean, it's not very specific. Is it a 32-foot wide improved road, or is that a 32-foot wide easement? Because as far as the code goes, I mean, they don't ask anywhere near that. So that's why I was.
So that leads me to ask a question for staff. If there is, excuse me, please, if there is any flexibility with respect to the governmental body regarding that 32-foot,
Yeah, so I had originally gone with the 24 feet as proposed, but I was told by the Eagle Fire Department and the Ada County engineer that it'll need to be 32 feet.
okay. And so are we talking just an easement? Are we talking about a paved road? What are we talking
We're
about?
talking about just a road.
Okay.
I don't believe that they're requiring a paved road at this point.
So it could even be gravel road or what have you, correct? Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any additional questions? Commissioner Riley?
Just one question regarding that trail that runs through, I can't remember if it was lot number 2 or,
It goes through all three.
oh, it does. It cuts through all of them,
That's right
that
now,
public
yeah.
trail.
Uh-huh.
So how would you propose to address that? If you sell off those lots to people, you need to tell them, hey, this stays open to the public, or would you propose rerouting it? I think that was one option.
So, is that, can I?
That's it, yep.
So to address that, good question. What we have is in my title work, so before I ever obtained this property from the McLeod family and dual beneficiary of Avamore, that trail was already there. And in my title work, it states that that trail will be running with the easement of the power lines. And as you see to the north of the property, I have the power lines that serve Avamore. And then that trail continues with that power line clear up to almost Stack Rock. And so it's already in the title work of all of those properties. So there's nothing, I mean, even if I was like, hey, you're gonna have to follow these rules or something, or if I have to have that written, it's already in there.
Okay.
It's already been done. And then they then turn those over, I believe, to the, as he said, the Parks and Rec for, I think they call it River to Mountains Trails. So that's why they had commented on it, to make sure that, hey, that's a thing, and it is, and it always has been. So that's not gonna change.
Okay, so you would propose to just leave it where it's at now?
Well, on the
running
rerouting,
through your
it's,
property?
yeah, on his wording for rerouting trail is in my title work, it's supposed to be rerouted to under the power lines, and they just haven't done it. It was an Avamore thing, they just haven't changed it. And in the meantime, I've just had with them, well, I don't stop anybody, bikes, that kind of stuff, because it's not like an off-road four-wheel drive trail kind of thing, it's a hiking trail.
I think that's a later phase of Avamore is what it is, because Avamore's still doing their thing up there. Because that's so far north of Avamore, I think it's a later
South.
phase, if I'm right. Yeah. If I remember right. That's a while back, but yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the audience that wants to speak to this application? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and turn it back over to staff for questions. Any questions from the commission for staff? Seeing none. Do the applicant want to come back forward for any additional comments? All right, they said no. We'll go ahead and turn this over to one of my fellow commissioners for a motion in favor or against this application, and then we'll discuss. I mean, I can make a motion,
You could.
I guess. Man, it's been a while, hold on. I don't usually make the motions because I'm the chair. I don't want to. I'll just do it off the cuff. All right, so based upon the findings of fact and conclusions of law from the hearing, I recommend that this application number, where'd it go? 2025-01403-ZC-S-DA-PR-V. I recommend approval based on the findings of facts and conclusions of law and the presentation given by Mr. Holden. That's off the cuff, by the way. I didn't read the script, so if I missed anything, let me know.
I'll second.
Commissioner Colson has seconded. I guess I'll go first. Yeah, I see no problem with this. I do know that, yeah, the trail, eventually Avamore, I think Avamore's required to move that trail eventually, but I don't think it's till like their phase 12 or 13. They have like 30 phases or something, so everything looks good. It's not gonna be an encroachment on anyone. It's not like we're building apartments or a 25-house subdivision, so everything looks fine to me. That's all I have. And Commissioner Colson?
Yeah, no, I see it's pretty cut and dry. The trail thing will just be recorded on the paperwork on their plot map and everything else like that when they get done going through it. So they won't be able to, whoever buys it won't be able to move it or whatnot. It'll be in their closing docs and everything else like that. So they won't be able to have someone come in there and just say, oh, no, I'm going to move it. No, here it is. It's an easement without an easement, basically, in a way. So, no, I think other than that, it's a good thing out there.
Any additional comments? Commissioner Rowley?
Yeah, the only thing I would add, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, is, this is asking for a zone change from, rural preservation to rural residential. And which, in this case, I don't have any issue with. I think the applicant mentioned that the property directly south of him had already received such a zone change. And I guess my only caution on this, and it doesn't change what I plan to approve on this, is just, as we continue to creep north up in these hills with these zone changes from rural preservation to rural residential, where do we draw the line? It's not a question per se, but just something to consider going forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Rowley. Any additional questions or comments? All right, seeing none, with that being said, we'll go ahead and bring this to a vote. All those in favor of my motion, say aye.
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 Motion. All those against, seeing none, the motion is approved. Thank you, everyone who is involved in this application. Next up, we have item number 2025-01528-S and 2023-00319-DA-DM Hawkins Companies Commercial Developers. And we look to Mr. Danielson for the staff report.
Dear Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, project number 2025-01528S is an application of a preliminary plat for 3 commercial lots in the Community Commercial District and a development agreement modification associated with project number 2023-00319-DA-DM. The property is located in southwest Boise near the intersection of South 5 Mile Road and West Lake Hazel Road. The property is located at 6080 South 5 Mile Road. It contains 2.5 acres. The project is to create 3 separate lots for the existing commercial development. The applicant has stated in his detailed letter that the intent of the subdivision is to provide flexibility to buy, sell, and/or refinance individual parcels. Lot 1 will be 0.97 acres and includes an AutoZone auto parts retail store. Lot 2 will be 0.69 acres and includes a Valvoline oil change store. And Lot 3 is 0.83 acres and is a Dutch Bros coffee shop. All 3 lots will be served via individual septic systems in Veolia Water's centralized water system. History of the development goes back to June 14th, 2023, when the Board of County Commissioners approved a zoning ordinance map amendment with a development agreement to rezone the property to the Community Commercial District, along with a master site plan for the AutoZone retail store and conceptual plans for a second retail pad. Later that year, the applicant came back with a modification to the master site plan and a development agreement modification, which added the third retail pad and did some minor changes to the master site plan for the auto parts retail store. In 2024, the master site plan applications were submitted and approved for the Valvoline oil change and the Dutch Bros coffee shop. As you can see by the pictures here, the improvements on the property have already been approved and built. This project essentially just splits the parcels into 3 lots. Access within the subdivision will be through a continuous service drive with a single access point onto South 5 Mile Road. There is an existing cross-access easement that runs through the subdivision and provides access to the McDonald's parcel to the south and will provide future access to the property to the north when that property redevelops in the future. At this time, there were no written public comments received on this application from the public. Key agency comments include the following. The Ada County Highway District stressed the importance of requiring cross-access easements. The Boise Fire Department, on behalf of the Whitney Fire District, responded that they have reviewed and can approve the application subject to compliance with the provisions in the International Fire Code. The applicant and myself would like for a proposed condition number 1A to be removed since this condition is already satisfied as there's a 10-foot utility easement already depicted on the preliminary plat along South 5 Mile Road. Staff finds that this application complies with the Ada County Code and the comprehensive plan and recommends approval to the commission, and I'll stand for any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Danielson. Any questions from the commission? Commissioner Birch?
Mr. Danielson, if I read this correctly and what I understand from what you just said, the only thing going on here is this has already been developed out. It's one parcel. The developer says, look, I want the flexibility to be, or the owner, whoever, to sell it as individual parcels. And that's why nobody's come out of the woodwork complaining or anything else, because it's all subject to the original conditions that were approved. And so there's no change other than being able to deed the properties individually. Is that correct?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Birch, that is correct, yes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Any additional questions? We invite the applicant forward. Please state your name and address, and you'll have 15 minutes for your presentation.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ethan Mansfield, representing Hawkins Companies. Our address is 855 West Broad Street, Boise, Idaho, 83702. I think Brent summed it up beautifully, and there's not much more I can add, but I have pictures at nighttime, not just the daytime. I think that's the only difference between our presentations.
You have to, over here is the receiving.
I will point it over here. So as Brent noted, this is currently a 2.5 acre parcel, fully developed. All 3 buildings have a certificate of occupancies, are occupied and open for business, just north of the McDonald's parcel on Lake Hazel and 5 Mile. So as Brent noted, the initial development began in 2023 with an application for a rezone. Subsequently, we constructed 3 commercial buildings. On the south was AutoZone and Valvoline in the middle, and then Dutch Brothers on the northern portion. So again, to answer your question, Commissioner Birch, nothing is changing except for putting some lines on a map. Everything's been approved. All of these buildings, all these developments meet dimensional standards. There were no exceptions, no variances, so everything's just staying the way it is, except for the flexibility to sell individual lots. And I should add, there is a declaration of maintenance and basically a common area maintenance plan to govern all of the parcels to ensure that all of their maintenance obligations are met. Otherwise, we can come back, or the common area maintenance person can come back and say, you got to maintain this, take the money and do it themselves. So here's some more pictures and more pictures, just kind of showing the development of the site. It's doing really well. And with that, we respectfully request your recommendation of approval with the removal of condition 1A, since the site does include already utility easements.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Commissioner Birch?
Yeah, this is just a curiosity question. So if one of the parcels fails to maintain, and you've got the common area maintenance agreement in place that's going to govern all the parcels, what kind of teeth do you have to force them to, I mean, excuse me, sounds very much like an HOA.
Exactly.
An HOA has to sue, basically, if somebody digs in their heels. And then if they're successful, they can slap a lien on the property and all that crap. So what can you do to make sure that they keep the property in neat condition?
Yeah, so what we'll do is the property manager will actually commission the work to be done and then bill them for that when we collect rent.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Any additional questions for the applicant? Seeing none. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There's no one in the audience. We'll turn it over to staff. Any questions for staff?
So just before, so I don't forget, my presentation will be exhibit number 33, and Mr. Mansfield's presentation will be exhibit number 34.
Okay, thank you so much. Did you want to come back up for any kind of rebuttal comments? All right, I said no. I'll go ahead and open it up for a motion in favor or against this application, and then we'll discuss. Commissioner Rowley, your turn.
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend approval of project 2025-01528-S and 2023-00319-DA-DM based on the findings of fact and conclusions of law in the staff report and the lack of opposition testimony from tonight's hearing, subject conditions of approval attached to the staff report in Exhibit A.
Thank you, Commissioner Rowley. Does that removal of condition 1A, that's included in his motion already then?
We want to add that to his motion, please.
Okay,
So
yeah,
Commissioner
Commissioner
Rowley's
Rowley-
just subject to the removal of condition
yes,
one.
yeah, just subject to removal of condition 1A.
Okay, the aforementioned motion, subject to the approval of the removal of condition 1A.
Is that good enough for you all? All right, perfect. All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Birch is seconded. Commissioner Rowley, do you want to speak to your motion?
No, very straightforward project. I understand why you're trying to do what you're doing, and no issue with me.
All right, Commissioner Birch, you have any?
Yeah, another no-brainer. Very well done. Thank you.
All right, anyone else have any comments? All right, with that being said, we'll go ahead and bring this to a vote. All those in favor of Commissioner Rowley's motion, say aye.
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 Opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Thank you, everyone, this evening that has participated. I'll go ahead. I need someone to approve the minutes. I do have a question. So the minutes have Commissioner Wickstrom's signature, and do I sign that still? I wasn't here. Yeah, you can just okay. I just want to make sure. All right, I did watch. I just wanted to make sure. All right, I do need someone motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. And I can't do it because I wasn't here, so someone.
So moved.
All right. Commissioner Rowley has moved to approve the minutes from the September 25th Planning and Zoning public hearing. Have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Colson has seconded. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
I'm gonna have to abstain because I wasn't here, so it's still approved because we have a quorum anyways. And with that, we'll turn it over to Mr. Beck for the review.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, not much. There was one item last night that the board considered. It was all about the new soccer facility out at Expo Idaho. There was a master site plan modification request to take the original approval for the Expo Idaho Park, the park at Expo, and add some additional bleachers, make some modifications to the grandstands, add some additional structures throughout for vending, for bathrooms, for locker rooms, that type of thing. And it went to the county commissioners because there were also several variance requests for the height of lighting, for the height of fencing, as well as the size and height of a scoreboard. So the commissioners considered that. I think there was a couple members of the public who testified, but it was approved unanimously, and that soccer facility will move forward. They're out there full steam ahead. Got two pitches, almost perfectly flat, They're gearing up to remodel the turf club, and the grandstands are being remodeled as we speak. So they're moving pretty quickly out there. So if you haven't been out there, it's amazing how much they've modified. So that was it, just that one item.
Any questions? All right.
Do we still have a second meeting in October?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Bursch, there is a backup hearing in October. We have all the 4 cities' area of impact renewals that will be presented, as well as I think some gravel pit reviews that will take place. So
Okay, thanks.
appreciate your willingness to come out again.
Well, meeting adjourned.
All right, thanks.
We do it for the money.
Yeah, it's on $50.
$50. So, I know you know,